And we're
We're
live.
rolling.
I, s- I don't know how many of these episodes we've done, but every single time, as I'm trying to figure out what chords go where, it's as if I've never used a chord before.
What chords? It's like literally one chord.
Oh my goodness, no, Kinsey, because I gave you my mic. I have all of these different
Is your
things.
mic
I
not
have like
wireless? It looks wireless.
it is wireless, but I have to plug in this transmitter
Okay.
into my laptop. And so it's like it's finding the magical cord that gets the transmitter hooked up. And then like I got it hooked up and then I couldn't get my little ring light on because I was already using the USB, the only USB port I
Yeah,
have.
I don't have my ring light on because I don't have enough USB-C ports.
Well, but you see, some like a couple weeks ago, I somehow did it. I had a different cord at some point that worked in one of my other things, but like who I hate cords. Anything that has a cord, it's a bad time.
I'm trying to get a good angle so I match your angle, even though your lighting is better. I should have gotten out that old light, but look, we're just happy to be alive. My eye is twitching.
I'm just happy. I, give us your medical update. You're the sickest person I know.
So, if you can recall last week's episode, I was like, my allergies, my allergies. Okay. I woke up on Friday and I was like, this can't be allergies. And if this is allergies, I no longer want to be alive. So I took my happy little self to urgent care and they were like, you don't have COVID, you don't have flu, you certainly got something. Let's do a chest x ray. Looks like early symptoms of pneumonia. Now, let's all think back to January 11th when I also had pneumonia. Interesting coincidence. When you have pneumonia more than once in a 6-month period, it's called like repeat pneumonia or something really unoriginal. And I'm going to a lung specialist in like a week and a half. And they're not actually sure that the second time it was actually pneumonia. But I definitely have some very serious blood oxygen levels and intense wheezing. So it could be adult asthma. It could be like a coincidence that I have pneumonia. It could be brought on by allergies. So we'll know more in the coming weeks. But I was like really sick for 5 days. And then the last 2 days I've been okay. What happened is they put me immediately on, even though it didn't look like it was complete pneumonia, they put me on the exact same plan as they did back in January. So I
Protocol.
was on Doxy, which is an antibiotic, and then they gave me an inhaler. And I took it for 3 days and I had like no improvement and almost like going back. So I went back to the doctor. So I went on Friday and then I went again on Monday. And my lungs are actually too swollen for the drugs to get to them. So then they put
Oh my
me on
goodness.
another antibiotic that you've actually been on. It's like what you take when you get poison ivy. And
Oh, I'm always on
you
that.
take like
Yeah.
three, or for mine, some people do it 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I take it three for
Hmm.
3 days, 2 for 3 days, 1 for 3 days. So it's like a 9-day thing. Oh my
Hmm.
god. There's a big creepy crawly bug that Bean is chasing, and I'm just gonna let Bean handle that situation for me right now. Um, anyways, the doxy started working. I'm on a breathing, like a nebulizer, which is, I think they actually used them a lot during COVID. They do them with babies too and people with asthma. Basically, I'm on a liquid medication that I put in this machine and I blow in and out. And it just releases, it's a really quick way to get medicine actually like into your lungs. And so I do that 4 times a day for
Hmm.
90 days.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
it's like a
Okay.
it's like a 5-7 minute treatment.
Oh,
Um,
and it's like it just goes over your nose too, right?
exactly. Yeah, it's like a whole little mouthpiece.
Yeah.
It's portable. It's small.
I
And
know I follow someone who was like posting about their breathing treatments for a while.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it does. It helps. You get like almost immediate relief, like after like 10 minutes, and then it works for like a couple of hours. So, um, yeah, I literally almost died. Like, not to be dramatic, I don't think I have been that sick in a long time.
Well, there was a time period where mom was convinced you were dead.
I know.
And
This gives me a pit because I'm like, this is so silly. I was napping. It's not like, from my perspective, it's not that big of a deal. I understand. I have also had moments when I like can't reach dad, and I'm like, oh my god, dad has died. And like,
yeah.
my brain also goes there. So it makes me feel bad thinking that she actually thought I had like actually died. But I'd went and I got in this nebulizer treatment at the doctor, and then I had a bunch of drugs in my system, and then I took a 2 hour long nap and didn't tell anyone. And mom had alerted everyone in my life. She sent my friend's husband over to my apartment to make sure I was
So
alive.
did you wake up to him banging on the door? Or had you woken
No,
up before you got
thank
here?
God. I like no. I'm in a group message with Eddie and my mom, just because it's like easier when I have to tell them both things to just like put it there. And so mom had messaged in that group and was like, Eddie, have you talked to Kenzie? And Eddie was like, no, I'm sure she's napping. I tried to talk to her like an hour ago. I declined her FaceTime. And he had said like, oh, on Find My Friends, which mom has me on Find My Friends. Like, she knew I was in my apartment. He was like, you can ping her phone and it's a really loud noise. And that's what she did in it. And it woke me up.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, because
it
she
was fine.
first dad had, first dad had called me and was like, "Have you talked to Kenzie?" And I was like, "I talked to her like an hour ago. Like you had just texted saying that you'd given me your medical update." And
Yeah.
then he was like, "Okay." And then mom texted me and was like, "Have you heard from Kenzie?" Like 2 minutes after, I'm like, "You're in the same room as dad. I don't know why
Yeah.
I would tell dad
Well,
one
and
thing and you
everyone
would.
was saying
I
the
don't
same thing.
know."
Eleanor was like, I talked to her like an hour ago. I've been talking to her all day. Eddie had tried to FaceTime me. I declined his FaceTime because I was taking a nap. And I hadn't slept. The coughing has been way worse this time around than it was in January. And I just like could not sleep. So like for 5 days, I just like couldn't sleep for more than like 40 minutes at a time. So I was just like really sleep deprived, and had that nebulizer treatment takes your coughing away. So I finally had like a couple of
No
hours
good.
where I was like, oh, I can sleep. And I traumatized mom.
Yeah, no, I know.
It didn't
When
help
mom had
that
called
the
me
day
and
before or 2 days before, I was really sick, and it was before I was feeling better. And I had said something awful to mom about how like if I died, it would take like 12 hours for anyone to like find my body because I live alone. And then I was like, but luckily, like, Eleanor has a spare key. And mom was like, oh, that's good to know that Eleanor has a spare key. So, like, I planted those seeds in her brain.
yeah, this would be a possibility. Yeah. Oh, and I felt horrible when she called me because I could tell she was very freaked out.
Yeah.
And I was the whole time, I was like, Kenzie's taking a nap for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
I
there's just
love
no, like,
napping.
there's just no way that you're going to just like pass away.
Yeah.
Um, randomly, it's like the
The
audacity you have to
dramatics.
make that happen. Um,
Yeah.
but I did feel bad for her because it was like,
It's horrible. You don't want
I
to feel like,
understood the
yeah,
fear.
I too I can talk myself into like literally anything. So
Yeah.
I know it
Yeah.
gives me a
So
pit, but
you did not
I
die.
didn't die. My eyes
So
switching.
is that probably just a lack of sleep situation
Yeah, and also
then?
it's just Monday was the first Monday of May, which means this week is my own personal hell week. And so it's just been a lot of work. Like I took Monday and Tuesday off for like recovery purposes. Wednesday, and just like my to-do list was like 4 pages long. And I'm still just like trying to get through it. Which I saw your to-do list
Yeah.
was 2 sticky notes long. But you did get through
Yeah.
it.
I did get through it, but like one of the things was like pay this bill. And then I wrote another thing of like walk it to the
No, I was going to be
mailbox.
honest. I will do that too. When I make a to-do list, I like to start with something I've already done so I can already cross something off.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I will make it as like pick up mail. Like I'll make it things that
Yeah.
do not need to be done. And so my to-do list will be really long but full of easily accomplished things.
Yeah. It gets the momentum going. But yeah, and it's like if I was being honest with myself, it was like, okay, there's these three things that I just have to get done,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, well, I'll get these other things done first, and
That's
then I'll
amazing.
have an excuse if I want to keep putting them off. But I just didn't put them off. It was just reaching out to people. I hate reaching out to people to do like a follow up on
Yeah.
things. 'Cause, but like I have something that like it just has to get done before a certain date, and they actually haven't messaged me back. But I have like once again reached out, and so it's like I sent that thing out.
And you're rained
Um,
out. You got like 5 inches yesterday.
Not five, but
Oh,
we've gotten two. So the last time we recorded, I was hoping I'd be in the fields, right?
we were hoping we were gonna be at
Um,
70%.
oh yeah, not there.
Okay.
So we're like 60% maybe. So we got half of Thursday, so we could start planning at like noon on Thursday, and then JD planned until like 1 a.m. I planned until like 11:30. But the fields that we had like weren't super ideal.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day we got rain in the morning again. So then we worked from like noon till 5. So we got like a day and a half more of planting in. But yeah, so then we got a half inch, and then we got another half inch, and then we got a half inch today, and it's still more coming. Um, so I'm not like freaking out, but like I do think we might have a harvest part one and a harvest part two
Yeah.
of like just when things are ready in the fall,
Yeah.
which is always annoying, but I don't know. We'll see. It all just depends on the weather.
Yeah. At least it's
Um,
rain. Do you feel better when you have delays if it's rain versus like machinery being down or something?
100%.
I
Yeah.
would feel
The
similarly.
the worst feeling is like when you can be going and you can't. So like I was even like kind of trying to go back in my head of like what could we have done differently. And so like mom and dad were out of town on 3 days of planting. And one of those days we blew a hydraulic line, but it was a Sunday and you can't fix it on Sunday. So we lost one day of planting beans on that day. And then um, we kind of only planted one crop for a couple of days just because it was like dad was gone. I had a new kid working. It wasn't going to be very safe and realistic to try to be planting both at the same time. It would
Yeah.
have just been too many things going on. It wouldn't have been very efficient. But honestly, of the ground that we have left, like I could have gotten into one more field. We could have probably gotten our corn planted. Um, had we had like one more day,
Mm-hmm.
and things gone smoothly. But like what we have left on our bean ground, it hasn't been fit a single day this spring.
Yeah.
Like there hasn't been a single time it was ready. So I'm trying to not like beat myself up over that because I was really hoping we would get our beans done by May 13th, and that's simply not going to happen.
But
Um,
yeah, like that's completely out of your control.
yeah, totally out of my
If the
control.
ground has never been
Um,
fit, then like, what are you supposed to do? What are you to
yeah, so
do?
I've been making as much as I can like during the days off, just trying to get like caught up on other stuff so that like once we're back in the fields, like I'll only be thinking about planting
Yeah.
and basically just like sitting around waiting for it to dry out is like
Yeah,
torture.
I'm sure that's
Um,
horrible.
there is like a small part of me that's like just get on a plane and go to Kenzie's graduation because like I'm just gonna be
I
sitting
know.
around
I mean, it's
here.
only like 2 days, so.
Yeah. So tell us about your
I know.
graduation.
It's like Wednesday. I was just thinking about this in the shower the other day, just about my master's program in general, and I have lots of opinions on master programs, and I'll give them because I have a podcast and I can do what I want. I'm so pro higher education. I'm pro, specializing your skills, finding an interest that you have and investing in it. I'm really, really pro your job paying for it. I think I chose the expensive route and I don't regret that, but I do think about it every single day. And I graduated undergrad in 2021, and so it was fall, the end of the calendar year 2020, when I had to really get serious about what I wanted to do after graduation. And during that time, I knew I wanted to do museum works, but museums were shut down. And I was looking at jobs, and a lot of them required a master's degree. So I was like, screw it, I guess I'm going to get my master's. So I applied to 2 programs. It's very fortunate I got into both. I chose NYU, which brought me to New York, which was, I think, great for me. I got a job, and now I'm done with my master's. I It's a 2-year program. I did it in 2.5 because I worked full time, the whole shebang. And I wrote a thesis. It's 6 chapters. If it's 5 chapters, I don't even remember what it's about. I wrote it so long ago. Actually, it's really interesting. It's about cranial collections in natural history museums and the use of human skulls in race science and eugenics, and the part that museums played, and, you know, the conflicting movement throughout the United States. And you can still see a lot of that reflected in those spaces. They're extremely privileged. They're extremely white spaces. I navigate my own whiteness throughout the paper while also like giving suggestions for what museums can do in the future to deal with these sort of really complicated collections that they don't know what to do with. But anyways, I graduated. I finished in December, and I walk on Wednesday. And because undergrad was during 2021, I didn't have like a real ceremony. And so Mom really wanted me to walk, and I said, if you buy my cap and gown, I'll walk. And she did. And now I have a master's.
Now, so when you graduated from GW, you didn't do something on the mall?
So,
or did they they had a weird...
During, so I graduated in May. I started working, like the next Monday, like literally like no days off. I think I had like a final due on Thursday. And then I had orientation for my job on Monday morning. And
I graduated on a Sunday and I started working the next day.
Yeah. Some people like took the summer off. Eddie kind of like took a year off and like found himself. I was like, no days off. I was like, I'm going to start working. And not only did I start working at the job I'm at now, but I also worked at the 9/11 museum at the same time. So I was working 7 days a week for the first 3 months, which is horrible. Yeah. And I have a whole thing about not doing part-time labor. Anyways, so we had like an online thing. I was literally like at my job doing my orientation training. I think Mom might have watched it for me. I didn't watch it. We did do a thing in the fall where we did go back to the mall. We had like a commencement. Elizabeth Warren was our commencement speaker. It was nice. It felt weird because it was like homecoming weekend. And it was the class of 2020, 2021, and 2022 all together in a weird like celebration thing. So it was commencement, but it was like kind of weird.
Yeah, not a standard
weird COVID-y thing.
Have you heard or been on Ohio State graduation TikTok?
I've not heard or been on, but I've been to your Ohio State graduation.
Okay, so I had a roommate who her brother graduated, and she was at graduation. And so like
and they've already had it, right? Like last weekend?
Yes.
Okay.
They already had it. There was a woman who either jumped or fell off of the stadium and passed away.
Oh my God.
And it was as graduates were walking into the stadium. And I don't like Ohio State has put out like a statement and stuff. I'm not sure if the people that were putting on graduation and were speaking were aware of what happened, but they made no comments about it. And so so when you go into graduation, like all of the students are like pouring in. It's like hundreds of students a second. And this woman fell in front of hundreds of students walking into the stadium. And then there was tons of students that were continued to be walking in, seeing this situation, seeing, things getting set up and happening. And then they had to go sit for 2 hours at graduation. And like, what the heck did I just see? And then the speaker, apparently they brought up 2 different times, like concern about people rioting because like there's been protesting going on and just like being like, don't riot or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the speaker made everyone like get up and dance to some happy song and like find their breath. And then talked about how when he was coming up with how he was going to do his speech, he was on drugs, and then told everyone to invest in Bitcoin.
What? Okay, first of all, horrible. As someone that does special events, like whenever anyone just like passes out. It's like my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine having someone pass away with that big of an audience and
Yeah.
just
And I'm not saying there was like, I have no idea
I
what the
mean,
right thing to do is. Like, what do you do?
yeah, I mean, I'm sure traumatizing for the students, traumatizing for everyone, that person's family. Wow, that's horrible. I think about your graduation because I've never been to anything quite like it before, where I mean, it's like as many people that comes to a football game. It's
Yeah.
humongous. Like
Yeah. It's
so
massive.
many
It's
people.
super hot.
You
You're sitting there in
don't
the
know how
sun
to
for two
find
hours.
anybody. Um,
Yeah.
mine's
I
at.
joked because I joked because like I wasn't really interested in going to my graduation, that I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I'll just say I was there because like you guys wouldn't
No,
know
well,
the
you couldn't see.
difference.
I mean, like we were
Yeah.
tucked away some random spot, and NYU's is at Yankee Stadium, which is kind of cool. And we do get like we get our seat number. Like I'm in section
Okay.
whatever, seat whatever, and mom's in a different section with seat whatever, which is interesting. I hope that like adds to like less confusion. And then
Hmm.
2 years ago, Taylor Swift was their commencement speaker. And I would have like literally died for that. Sorry, I shouldn't have so literally
Yeah.
died after just talking about someone who
Yeah.
literally died. But I am obviously the biggest Taylor Swift fan. And we have a
Hmm.
human rights lawyer, which I'm sure she's amazing. And I'm sure she's going to know
Hmm.
exactly what to say about the conflicts in the Middle East. And I'm sure she's going to have nothing but words of wisdom to us. She's a professor at
Hmm.
Harvard. She like went to all these amazing places and done amazing things and was like on a short list to become a Supreme Court. I'm sure she's great, but like she's no Taylor Swift.
She's not
And
Taylor
I'm like not
Swift.
person who can
Yeah.
complain about this. Like, you know, who am I?
Yeah.
But come on, if I had Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
come
I know.
on.
At mine, it was what's the rich people that own everything in Columbus? It was like the wife of the rich people that
I don't remember.
definitely knew. It's they own like the limited brand. Um,
Oh yeah, and that
they're
Gap.
like they were, yeah, they had like connections with Ghislaine
Yeah,
Maxwell, and Epstein and such. But like I don't remember what she said at all.
I
But
don't either.
I don't know. Okay, so you wear a purple
Yeah,
robe?
so it's like my least favorite color. I really don't like purple. I can get away with like a light purple. I think it's fine. Like a lilac's pretty, but it's like dark purple. It's like purple. And then, of course, my hood is also purple for some horrible reason. And
Mm-hmm.
so Zoe's nicely letting me wear a white dress because I don't own a single piece of white clothing. I don't know if you're supposed to wear white to graduation, but like a lot of people do.
It just seems like people do, and I don't know why, but I feel like it just has become a thing over the
Yeah, and
years.
I'm gonna try to wear white just because it's gonna look the best with the purple, but
Hmm.
we'll see. I'm doing it for
Hmm.
mom. I'm doing it to take a day off work. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it to exist. It is a little weird because since I did it in 2.5 years, I joined with a really great group of people and I started my program and I took 2 years of classes with them and then they all
Hmm.
like peaced out and graduated last spring. And by the time I was in this last kind of weird quarter, I was doing it like 90. It was basically in the writing stages of my thesis and doing it mostly remote, doing it mostly at my job while I was clocked in. And so I just didn't really meet any people in this cohort. So it'll be a little
Hmm.
weird where they'll all be like friends and then they'll be like me. But
Yeah.
also it's like there's so many of us, like who cares?
Oh yeah, no. Even at like my graduation, it was like whoever I had to sit next, was like stand by and stuff. Like I had never seen these people in my life, and I was like, oh, we're in the same
Exactly.
major.
I know. I'll be like, yeah, I'm also went to this school and did this thing, but I don't know you. But like,
Yeah.
it's fine. I'm doing this for my mom.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
okay, so now that you
commencement.
have your master's, have you updated your resume?
Yeah. So I did that. Actually, I don't know if have it updated where it's like completed, but I've
Hmm.
not to like flex on everyone, but I am graduating with a 4.0. Um,
Whoa.
I am so smart. And um, I've been talking at work today to people about how much I like school, but I actually thought school gave me a ton of anxiety and that I am a happier person when I don't feel like my entire self-worth is wrapped up in a GPA. And everybody was like, your self-worth, your GPA doesn't matter. I just took that off my resume. And I was like, yeah, well, we're like built different.
Yeah.
I
Well,
didn't
I
want to
had a
just like
4.0.
take it off my resume.
I wouldn't take it off my resume.
Well, I also didn't chime in and be
Yeah.
like, well, also, I'm literally perfect and the smartest person you've
Yeah.
ever met. And I've never done anything wrong before in my life. But I know. It's like, I have a cubicle at work. I'm not going to like hang up my master's on my
Yeah.
cubicle. I don't know what to do with it. It's sitting at mom and dad's house in your old bedroom.
Yeah, mom and dad have my diploma.
I don't know what to
I don't
do.
need it. They're the ones that bought it, so they can keep
Well, it's like, I guess you could put yours like in your
it.
office, but
Yeah.
mine would like literally be like wall art in my department. Like if I just had like my master's degree right here. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's so silly. I actually feel really complex
It would
about
be
it.
really fun. No, you should just hang it whenever we're podcasting right behind you.
This is
Does
my
she?
certificate of podcasting.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like I'm proud. I definitely am one of those person that a big thing has to pass for me to like look back and be like, oh, that was a big thing. Like when I'm in the middle of it, it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like a big thing to me. And I'm proud,
Hmm.
but I also have weird feelings about I don't think it's attainable for everybody. And I think I should be getting paid higher. Without the master's degree, I should be getting paid a living wage. I
Yeah.
think in some ways my master's makes me better. I think I'm a better writer and I'm a better researcher. Um, and I definitely have like some skills, but there's other ways to get that. And I
Yeah.
just think every
That's
job should pay for
I
your master's. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I feel complex just when people are talking about going to college because like I will get a lot of people that reach out. They're like, "Hey, like what degree did you get? Do you feel like it was beneficial? Like should I go to college if I want to be a farmer?" And like for me, college was fantastic. I met all of my friends. I made really good networking things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I learned some stuff in the classes, but like if you're just looking at from a standpoint of like, do you need to have this to be a farmer? No,
Yeah.
no. It gave me life skills. It made me live on my own and
Yeah.
stuff. But then it's like I had a lot of scholarships and I had my parents helping me. I don't want to go tell someone who's going to have to pay for all the college by themselves, like, oh yeah, you need to go get
Well,
yourself student
exactly. And
loans.
I was telling these people I was talking to today about how I feel complex about it. Like, I loved it. I actually had a really great experience. I thought the classes were interesting and helpful. And I learned to, like, honestly prioritize my time and whatever. And I'm happy I have a thesis with my name on it. But I would never tell someone to go spend what I spent on the degree unless you have great scholarships or your work is paying for it because
Hmm.
yeah, there's also just like cheaper ways to do it. And I think those are great as well. But I know it's weird. I do meet a lot of people that don't have college degrees and are absolutely killing it. Like it's definitely, I feel strongly that that's not the path for everybody.
Hmm. I know. And then at the same time, like, because I'll see a lot of people that are like, no one can pay back their student loans. They like their careers, like blah blah blah. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why would you go and you waste your money when you can get a job doing X Y Z for X Y Z pay? And then it's like I also see Tanner who paid for all of his school himself.
Yeah.
He did not have any backing from his parents and like paid off his student loans very quickly after
Yeah.
graduation because he went into a career that
It
paid
just
really well
depends. Yeah, it really,
and it
you have
totally
to look
made
at like, are
sense.
you investing in a career that has a high revenue turnaround? And if you're not, then you might be looking at student loans for, the next 40 years. And it's just like, and that's a life you can live. Like, I think that's a life in itself. Like, there's no right or wrong answer. But I do get asked a decent amount about what I do and if I would recommend it. And yeah, I don't know. I also think I learned mostly in undergrad, but a little bit of my master's program, just so much more about other people and other ways of thinking and other communities. And that I think makes me way more valuable at my job.
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah,
constantly
just a better,
thinking about,
well-rounded person.
yeah, the dynamics of race, gender, sexuality, household income, thinking of accessibility from a physical and also intellectual standpoint, and like things that I don't think I would be thinking about had I not had to research and write about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. That's also I grew up in a very Midwestern white town. So I think it benefited just like leaving, going to a city, as I'm sure you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. I got into a fight with some dude on the internet the other day.
Classic.
I had said, I, I had posted something like 2 years ago about like, oh, I have all these rocks, and everyone always comes and asks if they can have the rocks, but they never ask if they can like come pick up the rocks.
Yeah.
And I just made it. It was like a 10-second
Yeah.
video,
Just like a fun little
lighthearted,
joke.
like just a little joke. And oh, every time it gets people so riled up, for whatever reason, because people are like, you're selfish, or like, how would people know that you need help getting them? How do they like? It's just like dumb people. But someone had said like, yeah, well, I give my rocks to people, and then sometimes I come home and my yard's mowed, blah blah blah. That's just like country folks helping country folks. And I had just said something about like 90% of my closest friends are not country folks, and they would drop anything for me. Just because I hate this, I hate the whole idea of like,
Yeah.
these are city people, this is what they do. These are country people, this is what they do. And he said, yeah, there are some country people that have moved to the city. And I said, nope. I met these friends in college. They have always lived in cities.
Oh, like he had
And then,
preconceived ideas about what city people are like?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, like city
interesting.
people would never help out. They would just want the
Oh,
rocks. They wouldn't want to come
come
help you.
on. Right.
Um, and so then he had said something else nasty, and I said, my sister lives in New York City, and she's found lots of friends who helped her move and help come check on her when my mom thinks she's
Literally.
dead.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, they must have moved from the country. And I just stopped
Yeah.
responding, but it was like,
No, Kristen was born,
okay,
raised,
yeah, no,
Queens, New
every,
York, baby. Like,
yeah, it's
you
like,
can't
yeah,
get
no,
more.
every person that lives in the city is a horrible
I
person
know.
who would never look out for their fellow human. Like, people like that,
Yeah.
and I should have just like blocked him
And that's the
immediately,
thing. It's
because
like
some people are just
you
like, it's
learn
not
so
worth
much
your
more
time.
about people and different cultures and communities when you go to cities and colleges, and I just think that sort is so much more, even more useful than like what you learn in the classroom.
Yeah. Well, and I would say too, like you can find that online, but like I don't know how you'd find it online well, because like the people I see online get highlighted are like people that are like rich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And are living lifestyles that are not like the average normal person elsewhere. Because like I think like my first gut instinct is to be like, oh, you can find these in other ways, that like you don't have to
Yeah.
leave your phone. You can find them online, but like I don't know how you find like I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it would take active work to seek out
I'm
like,
very skeptical of actually what I see online. I like, I'm
yeah.
always like, is that really how it is? Even when I see your stuff, I'm like, that's not really how it is. I mean, it is how it is. You're very authentic in what you're showing, but you're not showing when you're like so upset. You're like near tears and
Oh, no, no, no. I was crying the other day at midnight, and I like took one video where I had like I had mascara on because I had to film an ad that morning.
yeah.
And so I had like my mascara streaked all over my face. I'm like blubbering. I was like, I'm not posting that,
Yeah. And you
because
don't have to
like
post
it
it.
actually it makes, I don't need to be the crying girl on the
Yeah.
internet. Um,
Well,
but like
and that's just like, and you share a lot, and I share like almost nothing about my life online, and so what you see from my Instagram is like so far from what my actual life is, except for I was posting a lot of pictures from the doctor's office, so that was true
yeah,
and authentic. But
yeah, yeah.
that's interesting. I also, some people are just like have a lot of opinions about people they don't know, and I'm grateful that we were just raised to not judge people we don't know.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't imagine
yeah.
being like,
Well, and
those country
I think
folks
it's
hate women. You know, they'd be like saying something like that. And be
yeah,
like, those country folks don't want me to have a job. And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, that's not true at all. Maybe one
Yeah,
person,
yeah.
one place feels weird
And
about it.
I think like I think the internet just allows you to like jump to conclusions on people. Like I don't know what it is, but it's like but like I'll follow people I know in real life online and I'll hate their online presence
Yeah.
because of like the things that like they'll just be mean or brash or just like post really opinionated things. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like I know if I talk to you in person, actually today I went to the dentist and I was talking to someone who I've blocked on social media because she just
Yeah.
continuously was posting so much political stuff that I was like I don't want to see it anymore.
Yeah.
But then we had like a lovely conversation, you know, asked her how things were going. And it's like, you know, in those moments, she's not going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to bring up
Yeah.
all
She's
these
not gonna like
tweets. And, you
be
know,
like,
it's
so
like,
I reposted this last night. Yeah.
yeah, it is interesting. Like, because like like, I know they're both like real versions of a person, but it's like, well, which one's the real?
Yeah.
Like, is what you post online your internal dialogue?
Honestly, maybe. Because I
Or
feel
is
like
it
what I
what
post
you're
online a
willing to
lot
show
is
the
like Taylor
world?
Swift stuff. And I love Taylor Swift, but I don't talk about her like that much in my real life. I do talk about her a lot, but probably not as much as I do online.
Because you have like her tattoos on
And
your
I have
body.
2
I
albums right
don't.
here. I have an entire wall of lyrics. I don't. Okay, bad example. Um, yeah, I don't know. It is. It's interesting. I also keep who I follow like really low. And I was talking to Eddie about it last night because he's like, yeah, this girl, she's like a friend of a friend, but we're not friends, but I was friendly with her and I'm following her or whatever. And I was like, I follow
Yeah, it's like
200
one
people.
person I met one time.
Like, exactly. It's like people he met at a party one time freshman year. And I'm like, why?
Hmm.
I mean, follow them. I don't care, but like, that's just not how I make my Instagram. Like, I make it so only people that like I interact with and like feel
Yeah, I don't.
strongly about
Yeah,
seeing what is going on in
yeah.
their life.
I had seen so after like the uh Met Gala, I saw like some backlash online of like the celebrities are celebritying. We need to stop following them on social media so they stop getting their bag, which I
Yeah.
think is like so nearsighted because it's like these people are not making a bulk of their income off of their social media ads,
No.
but like sure go off. But like they were saying like we have to unfollow these people. I'm like I have never followed celebrities online. Like
Mm-mm. I
I
do.
don't
I
need
felt
to
Haley Bieber's
see
pregnant. That came out today.
I see but like people repost that
Yeah.
enough that I saw it
Like, I
seven
try to think of the
times.
people I follow. I probably only follow, like, Haley Bieber, maybe, like, Kendall Kardashian or Kendall Jenner, and then Taylor Swift. And
Oh,
it's
interesting.
a short
Yeah.
list, but it's a list of content I genuinely want to see. I want to know when Haley Bieber's pregnant. I want to see it when she posts
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. See, she was a person I never really followed, but I'd always just see like when other people repost.
Yeah.
And so it's like if there's ever like a big cultural moment,
Obviously,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
you're not
see
going to
it
miss
on
it.
stories or I'm gonna see
This
it on
is
the
so
toast.
random, but I have to tell you. So I got Chipotle today, and sometimes Chipotle just be Chipotleing, and it was Chipotleing so
Yes.
hard. And the last couple times I've
Ooh.
gotten it, it was like, fine. This time, it was so good. And I ate the whole burrito, and I'm like, not kidding, 8 minutes. That's all I had to tell you.
That sounds so good. For some reason, like for the last year, it hasn't sounded good to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we were at a cheerleading competition, we were on our way back home, and AJ was like, "Do you want to stop at Chipotle?" And I was like, "Oh, sure." And like I still wasn't even feeling it as we ordered it. When I started to eat it, I was like, "This is the best food I've ever had in my
I
life."
I live like 3 blocks from one, so it's like in a constant rotation because it's between work and home. And it's like it's always like good. I don't feel terrible after I eat it. It's like I don't know. And
And
sometimes the ingredients are a little bit off. Sometimes the meat
yeah,
freaks me out a little bit. That did not happen this time. The burrito was burrito wing.
I had
Delicioso.
talked. I had Taco Bell yesterday, and
Delicious, different, but delicious.
when did a chicken quesadilla become
$8. It's
$5?
$8 in New York. So I have been unwell and I have been ordering Uber Eats, which I'm not proud of, but I also wasn't in a state to leave. And so I was going to get Chipotle Uber Eats to my apartment, and it was going to be $27. And I was like, I don't make that kind of money. I got a master's, but I don't make that kind of money. So let's reel it in. Let's look deeply within ourselves and understand that Taco Bell is going to be fine. And so then I went to Taco Bell, and a chicken quesadilla was $8. And then a Crunchwrap Supreme was also $8. And I was like, I think I'll get more full on a Crunchwrap Supreme than I will on a chicken quesadilla. So I went with
Yeah,
the.
because they don't fill it up
Well,
the
it's
same
just too
anymore.
hit or
It's
miss. Sometimes,
That's
sometimes
true. Yeah.
I swear to God, the tortilla is bigger. I don't think it can be because I'm sure this is all coming out of a factory somewhere, but sometimes I swear it's bigger. So I went with the Crunchwrap Supreme, which was great. It hit still like $16 with all the delivery fees, but $5. I mean, I feel like when we were kids, it was like $2.
Oh my gosh.
Like
Well,
Taco
it was
Bell was the
always
cheap
Taco,
spot.
Taco Bell was always the cheapest option, and I could always eat a full lunch for like $3. I
Yes,
would get two tacos and a pintos and cheese, and I'm good to go.
that's
And
literally
now,
$3. Those
like,
were all on the dollar menu.
yeah, $3, and then I get this chicken quesadilla, and there are two slivers of chicken in it. I'm still hungry as I'm eating it, and I was like, "This is five whole dollars." Like, I just,
Yeah, well, imagine it
oh,
being $8. Imagine it being
I
eight.
know.
It's like, and then a Chipotle burrito in Ohio used to be $8. In New York, it's
Uh,
14. I don't know what it is in Ohio these days, but
yeah.
14 for a burrito. So it better gosh darn be a big burrito because
Yes.
like
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
$14
And
my legs.
I remember when Alexa moved to New York and she came back in town. Well, like she was a year older than us, so she came back into town one time when we were seniors. And like on the drinks menu, she's like, "I cannot believe that there are drinks that are under $12." In which, like now in Columbus,
Yeah.
like drinks, you're lucky if they're under
It makes
fifteen
me feel a
dollars.
little bit better like
But
when we were there for your bachelorette where I was like, okay, this feels like expensive, but like I'm sorry, if everyone's out there getting drinks for $4, that's not fair. That's not fair to me
yeah.
here paying $18.
I do remember even just like so from being in Columbus to being in our town, when my friend Kaylee was getting married, after her bridal shower, we all went out to like a local bar, which I had only been to like twice. I haven't been. I think I've been there one other time since. Just not the local bars are not my scene. But
They are my scene if you're curious.
they are Kenzie's scene. I was never invited, so I wasn't gonna go there alone. But, but I ordered the bridal party a round of shots because someone else had ordered a round of shots, and I was like, "Oh, I'll do my part or
Yeah.
whatever." And when the bill came, it was I'm kidding you not, like it was a group of like 12 girls. The round of shots was $12, and I was like, first of all, what are we drinking? Second off,
I will
how?
never forget the first time I moved to New York and I went to a bar. I met up with a couple guys that are from our hometown that also like ended up in New York, and it was like right when I knew like literally nobody. And it was Brett, and he invited me to this bar or whatever, and he bought me a tequila shot, and I was like not gonna take the tequila shot, but I was also like didn't know him well enough to be like no thank you after he already ordered it, so I threw it on the ground without him looking, and then I saw the bill, and it was a $25 tequila shot, and I think about that every day.
You threw the
I
first time I met Alexa,
couldn't
I threw
believe.
tequila shots over my shoulder.
Well, here's the thing. I was
I
working
can't do
7 days a
shots.
week. I wasn't gonna like get crazy on a Tuesday, and
Yeah.
I was
Isn't that like the worst when someone buys you something and you're like, oh, I don't want to have this, but then you feel bad if you don't
well,
have
I
it. Like
know, and I
even if
couldn't
like
leave it
someone
out
brings like a
there.
pizza.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
and so I had to throw it on the ground, and it was
Yeah.
$25. That's like two Chipotle burritos. Like,
But like the thing is too is like okay, you would have taken that one shot. It wouldn't have felt like
no, it wouldn't.
$25.
I'm
You would
sure
have
it
just
was
been like,
like Patron, like it was maybe like
yeah,
Casamigos. I don't know, but nothing worth. It was like not even a great bar. It was like just whatever. But and because I was coming right from college where I went to school in DC. It wasn't like stuff wasn't cheap, but it wasn't. I was going to like the collegey spots, so it was still probably like a $12 shot. Like that would have probably been normal. So I wasn't expecting that. It was crazy. Sometimes
yeah. What?
some things will still shock me, but I'm pretty used to prices now.
Yeah. The one thing I get so sad about is when you order something and then you don't like the way it tastes and you're like, I wasted this much. But like
Yeah.
I also like if I order something, I'm gonna eat it, drink it, like I'm gonna
100%.
not
I've
I'm not
never
gonna
sent anything
waste.
back either.
But like even on like the smallest scale ever, yesterday I went to Wendy's and I got a frosty. I got the creamsicle
Mhm.
one. And like the whole time I was having it, I was just like, oh, I just wish this was the chocolate one. I should never step outside my comfort
Yeah.
zone. It wasn't bad. It was like I was hoping it'd be more sherbety,
Yeah.
but it was more like creamy with a hint of
So
orange.
we're the same
Um,
person. I have a chocolate milkshake in my freezer because I thought it was going to taste so good and it didn't taste so good. And I felt so mad at myself for buying it that I was like, I'm going to save it. Am I going to ever have that old frozen milkshake in my freezer? No. But I was like, I spent $8. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to at least look at it every single day.
Oh my goodness,
It's gonna
yes.
accompany my ice trays. Like,
Oh, I do the same thing with clothes too. Like if I get something and it's like I think I'm gonna wear it and I don't wear it, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna stare at it for the next 4 years because like
yeah.
I'm gonna feel guilty donating it if like
Yeah.
it's so silly. It's so
I
silly.
know. It's almost like, yeah. I'm less with clothes. I'm pretty good about wearing my clothes. I'm trying to think about things I'll spend money on.
I'm just bad at like when I get clothes, I think I rush so quickly in the dressing room that I don't actually see if it like fits.
Mm,
Because like I don't know, like or if I like buy it online and it's like, okay, it's a little bit big, it's a little bit small, like I'd rather not do the hassle of shipping it back and getting a different
yeah.
size. So I'm like, it's fine. And then like I have three pairs of jeans that it's like they fit for the first 5 minutes and then they just stretch out because
Yeah.
they're like stretch jeans and they don't fit. And now I have like three pairs of jeans that don't fit, but I continue to wear because I had already worn them for like a full day before they stretched out.
Yeah. What I am really good about is I only buy clothes for an occasion I like know. I'm either buying
Hmm.
clothes where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wear that every single day, or and I do, or I'm buying a dress for like an event. So that's good. I don't have
Hmm.
like clothes in my closet that like have tags on it.
Yeah.
Um, but I definitely feel spending money on things and then not using them, and I feel food. It's like I got happy hour. This was probably like 8 months ago. The appetizers bad, drinks mid. Spent $75. Refused to go back. Think about it every day. Where I was just like, dang, I could have used that money on something I actually liked.
Hmm.
But I
So
guess
yeah, now I
just
do
living
that
you
like
learn.
every single day. Like I sold corn on a Friday and it went up 500, like I only sold 2,000 bushel. It went up $500 overnight. And I was like, $500, that would have fixed this and this.
Yeah,
Like
that's like couldn't
it,
have your
it's
job.
it I know. It's one of those things where it's like dad is always like, do not run the numbers. Like because like you can always look back and be like, you can always
Yeah.
calculate it differently, you know what I
True.
mean?
And you're only,
But
in
I
my
can't
opinion,
get myself to
you're
stop.
only allowed to be mad if you are equally as happy when you make the right decision.
Never happy.
Yeah, see,
No.
that's the thing. You have to, if you're not evening out your emotion, it's not fair to just do the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And that's
No,
words of wisdom.
yeah. I know. Usually when I sell, it's not this year because like prices are really down, but like usually it's like if I feel good about the sale, I need to just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
But I
Yay,
don't
just
know.
another day living the dream.
Yes.
Agriculture, agriculture,
Yeah.
agriculture. It's your sweatshirt.
Oh, yes. Yes.
My,
What is that?
it's the logo of the museum I work at.
Oh.
Um, wow. Well, do you have fun weekend plans?
Tanner is, I think, maybe gonna go golfing, and I pressure washed our parents'
Oh
porch
yeah, for
and
Mother's Day.
sidewalk last weekend. And they have like two fences at the end of their driveway. I scrubbed one. I couldn't do the pressure washer because I don't have like a water source there, because it's at the end of
Just
the
like
driveway.
throw the end to like into the
And I
river.
scrubbed it by hand, and it was so hard. It was such hard work. I had to be like, I'm gonna have to come back for the second one.
Yeah.
And the first one doesn't even look
Oh
good. It
dang.
looks okay from the road,
Yeah.
but it's just like it's just like in a place where it's like it's white and it gets so moldy. And I thought it would be super easy to clean, but it's like
Not.
it requires lots of scrubbing. Um, so I am regretting. But the power washing was so sad. I love power washing. It
Yeah,
was so
Mom got these really
satisfying.
nice planters, and she had told me that you power washed the cement chunk they're on for Mother's Day, which is very nice of you. Love that.
Yeah. Yeah. It took like 2 hours to do the pressure washing, but like it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I really want to see the movie
So
Challengers with Zendaya. I want to see it so bad that I might just go by myself.
what
It's
is
the
that about?
tennis movie. It's like a love triangle with Zendaya in the middle of it.
Oh, okay. I saw the previews for that. So Dad went to see
Fall
the
Guys.
extra Fall Guys,
Yeah.
and then tomorrow he's gonna go see Planet of the Apes,
Oh,
which I would have
amazing.
rather seen Fall Guys,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking if I like get most of my work done, I might just go with
Do
him
it.
as like a little something to get my mind off of work.
Yeah. No, I was thinking I might
But
take
like,
myself out tomorrow night because what else do you do when you were recovering from pneumonia? And Eleanor's moving, so she's kind of busy all weekend.
okay, just don't like go hard.
I know,
Just
but that's the thing about the
get
movies
your
is you just sit.
popcorn, do your breathing
I know
treatments.
my
Yeah.
nebulizer. I've like
Is it timed? Do you have to do it at certain
yeah, so
times, or is
I'll
it
do
just
it
like four
like
times
right
a day?
after we get done, and then I'll do it at like 10:30 right before I go to bed. I do it in the morning before I leave for work. I do it at noon. I do it after work, and then I do it right before I go to bed for 90
Okay.
days. Um,
Well, that,
I have
yeah.
so many things I want to talk about. We're running out of time. I wanted to talk about how I'm helping people pick out outfits for your wedding, which I'm really enjoying.
Ooh, that's
I'm
fun.
excited for Eleanor's wedding. That's like in less than a month. We went to her second to
Uh-huh.
last fitting yesterday.
Second to last, how many fittings does she have?
I think there was 3 or 4 in total.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I only have one scheduled.
There
I guess that
they
means I
and
have
they
to like
did
go back
some
a few
like
times.
reconstruction, and yes, you are gonna have to go
Okay.
back because you're gonna go the first time. They're gonna pin like where it needs to get hemmed and taken in it, and then you'll go again. And if they need to do more, then you end up having 3.
Oh, okay, interesting. I set up my makeup trial yesterday. And next week we can get into the fact that I have to pay $180 on a Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. to get makeup put on my
But
face to
think
just go home and wash it
no,
off.
don't wash it off. Go home and pre-film like 10,000 videos.
I know, but it's gonna be like glam, and people are like, "Why the
And you
frick
got to
does
be
she
like,
look
because I paid
so?"
180
I know,
smackaroos.
I already have that. I'm already gonna make that video. That's like, "Hey, we're at the farm today. Why do we look like this?" Because I'm gonna do a video
Yeah.
about like the only reason I'm making this video is because this is what $180 worth of makeup looks like. I have nothing to like
I'm getting my
if
makeup done for Eleanor's wedding. I'm treating that like my trial for your wedding.
as you're trying. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, sorry if I looked insane for Eleanor's wedding. This is my makeup trial. Um, but yeah, so her dress is gorgeous, has a really low V and then a really low back, and she's just trying to get more coverage.
So it needs to be like perfectly
Yeah,
fitted.
she just wants a little more coverage in the chest area because her mother-in-law is coming from India and is a little
Yeah.
bit more conservative in that front. So, healthcare is calling me. It's literally
Oh.
just titled healthcare. And so that's why it's like taking a little bit more just to get like the lace part perfect. But yeah, so I think it'll be like 3 visits in total.
Yeah.
But very exciting. When do you, like in the next couple of months, you have your like fittings?
Yeah, mine's in June because they're like, yeah, we will
Mm-hmm.
do it 6 weeks before the wedding. To which I was like, that's not enough time. But I was a person that like I got a prom dress, and then the alteration person messed it up so badly that they had to be like, oh, we have to
That's
order you another
insane.
dress. So like, I'm just a
Well,
little
also,
like,
you're not like
I'm just like a
fluctuating
little wary from
weight.
that
I
weird
understand a lot of
situation.
times they'll wait till the last couple of
Yeah,
months because people want to lose weight or like whatever.
people are
But
trying to.
you,
Yeah,
you're like, you've been the
yeah.
same.
I'm the same
Yeah.
size
Like,
I've
you're
been since
not,
seventh grade.
they could have measured you a
Yeah.
year ago and I'm sure it would still fit perfectly fine.
Yeah, my only thing's like there's a few things like I want changed, and so I'm just like, what if what because it's yeah, I bought it too big because it was like I bought it off the rack or whatever, and I'm like, well, what if you can't alter it
Yeah.
to you know what I mean? Like, what if you can't?
Oh my God. There's not
What
going to
if
be much.
there's
It's going to
too
be completely
much?
fine.
I know, but like
That's a
yeah,
little
6 weeks ahead is
close.
like I'm like there's just not enough time. Yeah, so she like gave me a window, and I
You're
picked like the
you're like,
very
actually,
first
I'll
one
see you
because I
next
was like,
week.
this doesn't feel like yeah, like can we
No,
get
I
the
feel
ball
that.
rolling
Especially when it's like
tomorrow?
so much is in your control, and then the things that are out of your control, you're like, but wait, I had not considered.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, that was weird.
Oh,
We sighed at the same time. Okay, well, sister friend, I
but
miss you so much. I want you to get the plants in the ground so you can come see me this summer.
yeah, same. Have a good time at
Well,
graduation.
I
Do your
know.
breathing
Other than
treatments.
that, I guess keep things rolling. Give Freb a kiss from me. Okay.
I
Toodaloo.
will. Okay. Bye.